Yo, what's goody, family? Welcome to the Devil's Advocate with Ace Anderson and Akron Watson, where we're making the best case for the guiltiest pleasure.
Get the fuck out of here. These motherfuckers. Wow. Damn. I think that's a
Man,
sign,
ask
nigga.
anybody, there are no benefits to abstinence.
What's going on, good people of the world? It's your boy Ace Anderson with Akron Watson here. You are here with the SiHK Brothers on Akron's birthday. What's going on? How you feeling today, man?
Man, right now at this current second, I got like a slight headache because I've been having a good time, man.
That's good.
With Shakendra's been spending a lot of time with me, and that's
Hey,
been great because that's that's new. That's something that I don't normally do. I don't normally spend my birthdays with anyone. It's been a tradition. It's been a tradition of mine to like escape civilization and go to a beach or go, somewhere to be by myself. And so it's been cool though, man. It's been a learning experience too, because it's like it's a new muscle, being like, okay, somebody's here and thinking about me. And she got this amazing, we're in Palm Springs, man.
oh,
Right now.
nice.
Yeah, she got this amazing room at this place called Margaritaville, which I didn't even know. This is like this is where Coachella happens. Out in this part, and we, as we were driving in yesterday, man, we were literally chasing the last daylight in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah, Palm Springs is on the coast right before like the sun is completely down on the rest of the world. I mean, on the rest of the country, and so we got a chance to like be in the last little bit of sunlight before my birthday. It was nice, man. It's been really nice.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
So what's been the reason for this new shift in how you're spending your birthday?
That's interesting, man, because the reason I think is it's a bunch of different reasons, right? It's like the world closed, and so I really am craving company, but also the world closed for a specific reason, so I'm craving a specific kind of company, like still safe and not like just going. I don't want somebody just like with COVID, you know what I mean, to like be coming over, and like hanging out with me on my
Right.
birthday, and I get COVID on my birthday. So, and then like with that like craving to be around people, like I wanted to be able to like go out and go to places in a place like this, and I think just being alone for this amount of time in this way is teaching me the value of who I allow around me. I thought that I knew, but now I value things differently. The value system is different now because it's about safety but fun. It's about like, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of boring ain't too bad right now, you know what I mean? And then like somebody who also knows me and who is talking to me on a regular basis, which is, which can be weird with me. And so being able to somebody who's able to tackle that and be, life is coming at me hard right now, man. I'll say that, just like financially and with work and family and just everything that's on my mind constantly, and that I'm trying to do, that we're trying to do. It takes a special kind of person to be able to even put up with me right now. So I had to take all of that into consideration when letting somebody come around, especially on my birthday, because I thought it was a time to reflect and do all these, but I've been reflecting all year, brother. I've been reflecting. I don't know about you, I wake up in the morning and go to bed reflecting. So
Yeah, this is the year of reflection. Well,
yeah,
I guess.
so but it was really nice to like have a mirror here. in Shakendra, and she's a good proponent of saying what needs to be said and not saying too much more. So I really like that too. That like, you know, there's an expectation that like, all right, we talked about this, now let it go. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of care is important right now, man, because I think in talking about what we were talking about like what the topics would be, you know, when I think about homelessness, I think about that spiral of like having a problem and not being able to let it go and just like and so it's not, you know, it's nice to have someone around who has those sensibilities. It's like, okay, we talked about this, I care about you, I'm mirroring you so you can see, you know, like how you're doing, what you're doing right now. Now let it go. Let me show you that you haven't let it go and it's time to let it go.
Right.
It's been good, man.
That's great, man. What are you most excited about with this new year?
The work that we're doing, you know, and I'm excited about this new friendship, man, this new journey, and however bumpy it may have been up until this point, it's still very exciting, man. Because to me, it means a lot, and I think that to the world, it's gonna mean a lot when we get it together.
Word.
And I'm constantly being I'm constantly in an uncomfortable place for good reason right now, and this is just a part of that. But like our relationship and the relationship that I'm building with Kendra and the relationship that I'm building with Randy and Sheila and Warnessa and the new relationship I'm building with my manager and agency and Eve and you know, all these different, and Gabrielle, everybody that is coming into my life or coming into my life right now, I'm learning so much, and so I'm really excited about who I'm becoming.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. What you said about not saying too much, saying what needs to be said, and not saying much more than that. That's so interesting that you recognize that as a good trait, because recently I've been getting into a lot of heated debates with my uncle. And his critique of me is that I explain things way too much. Like I talk way too much, basically. And you know, this is part of why you have to have people around you that love you, that can tell you the truth, you know, because I started to hear it and see like, oh, maybe I should have stopped my sentence right there. But I have a terrible habit of ending my sentences with a conjunction like so or but or and, but I don't have anything else to say. Like even just now, I felt the need to end my sentence with so.
Yeah. And is that because you're used to you know, those conversations where if you don't have anything to say, they're gonna end.
Yes.
And you don't want the conversation to end, but you don't know what to say. And I feel like that was like me all community college and most of my 20s was like having conversations with people and being like, bah, 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 bah. So yeah, you know, and like not wanting to sound like an idiot by how I ended a sentence.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Or by because it's not just how you begin it or how you say it, but you also got to finesse your way to the end in like a really clever way to make sure somebody remembers the point of what you were saying. And
right.
You know, oh God, yeah, man. Oh God. And me in New York too. Like that my whole time in New York, every time I meet somebody, Lin-Manuel specifically, bro, at Michael Friedman's funeral party, you know, rest in peace. Michael Friedman passed away. Was a musical composer, and Lin-Manuel is there, and I've auditioned for this dude 100 times, and now we're in the same room chilling, and I'm like, yo, man. So you know, I've just finished the Color Purple, and I'm looking forward to like my next Broadway show. So You know, it was, and feeling like he was gonna jump in and realizing that like he could have ended this conversation 10 minutes ago, and the fact that we're still talking is my fault. and now he is showing me that he wants this conversation to end.
Oh wow.
He's not saying it. Yo, I'll never forget that moment. And I think I learned from that conversation to just say what you need to say. And just because I could have said anything. I could have literally just been like, man, I can rap or something. Like, I could have, you know, because you want to. I wanted him to grasp something of what I was saying and like, take it off. And instead, he was just like, nothing's interesting here.
Yo, that's how I felt on the set of SWAT. I did SWAT, and at the end, Michael Beach and I were having a conversation, and he's the guy I'm doing the scene with. And then at the end of our scene, the director's like, all right, and that is a wrap on Michael Beach. It's also a wrap on me, but they didn't make an announcement for me like that. So they're like, all right, that's a wrap. Everybody's clapping, woo, or whatever. And then Shamar Moore comes over to shake Michael Beach's hand, and he's shaking his hand, talking to him. He's like, hey, so what you getting into later? And I'm standing right next to him. And they're like, yeah, you know, we're going to chop it up and da-da-da. And I'm like waiting for Shamar Moore to say something or acknowledge my presence. This dude does not acknowledge that I exist at all. He's just looking at me like, and he walks away, yo. I'm like, and my mom was like, I don't like Shamar Moore anymore. Now that you told me that story, I don't like him anymore. I used to like him. It's like, because he's going to remember, he's going to forget, and you're going to have to remind him one day when you're rich and famous.
That happens, man. That happens. I can't wait to remind. No, I'm just playing. You know, at the end of the day, man, like, you let that shit go. You're going to forget about that shit, nigga. You're going to do 10,000 other things. And low-key, Shamar Moore will probably not be able to get in the door of some of the places he's gonna work at, bro. He's gonna have to buy a ticket like everybody else.
Right?
Just to see you fucking work, he's gonna have to fucking stream you into his home because he ain't gonna be allowed on set.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that
man.
feature.
He's gonna be like, that's that dude I ignored that time. But too, man, on the sets too, I did this thing with this school in Cedar Hill today, man, where I talked to like, I don't know, 300 kids via Zoom. The way they had to set it up was so dope. They had each classroom with these huge screens, and then the kids were sitting in the classrooms, and I could see the whole classroom. And so there were like 6 screens of like 20 or 30 kids, you know what I mean?
Wow.
In a Zoom. And so that allowed for all these kids to hear me and interact with me like simultaneously at the same time. And so then when a kid wanted to speak, they get up from their seat and come to the front of the classroom to the camera. And so it was so dope, man, because you had like kids that would just come in and standing in front of the camera, like waiting to ask a question. And I'm like talking. It was so beautiful, man. But
that's dope.
They were asking how stuff was on set, and I was like, well, on the set of Empire, and they were like, oh my God. And I'm like, on the set of Empire, you know, it was fun. It was a whole lot of fun. I was like, it's 50% fun and it's 50% work. The 50% work is just you getting in front of the camera and doing what you've learned. We already talked about learning lines. And then the 50% fun is getting ignored by like Taraji P. Henson or like, you know, or like whoever the guest star is that day. You just kind of like, you sit down in the chair and you just hope somebody's gonna speak to you, and that's fun, man. Like that's fun. And my mom and some church members were also Zoom. Man, it was wild how all these people managed to Zoom into this thing today, man.
That's awesome.
And they all sang happy birthday at the same time.
Oh crazy. Wow, that's dope, man.
I'm like, y'all whole school had to just light up just then because it was at least 300 kids like it felt like in my face. Just it was dope, man. It was really dope. All
right, good, because I was gonna sing happy birthday, but now I feel like they've taken care of that. I won't be able to outshow them. So
those damn Gen Zers, man, is always sliding in. with you. I think that's Gen Z, man. They were like 9.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like 8 or 9.
Wow.
It was dope, man. So many little black kids just like, you know, we talked about fucking Black Panther and Marvel and shit. And because Hamilton's on Disney Plus, and they were like, they were like, oh, Guy Hamilton, what else do you like on Disney Plus? It's like, yeah, also like Marvel, and yeah, what kind of Marvel? You know, like we had a whole conversation about Iron Man. Fucking, I told him who Robert Downey Jr. was. I was like, so this is who Robert Downey Jr. is. And here's why Robert Downey Jr. is important to you as a young actor. It was dope, man. It was dope. It was fun.
That's cool, man. So I've been looking at your face all day editing this sizzle reel for the reality show about your grind, bro. Like this joint is looking good, yo. It's really looking like I'm really, I guess I shouldn't be, but I'm very impressed by Warnessa's ability to craft a story from all of this footage, you know, and I'm seeing how the story is lining up and getting to put the clips together and just do what I do without having to think about, you know, are these clips good enough, or what is this right? Because that's always troubling, like when you're editing the first draft of any project and you don't really know what the client or the, you know, whoever's getting the deliverables, you don't know what they're gonna think about your choices. And so since half of the choices, or I guess most of the choices, are made, then I get to just kind of make it all pretty and do something real cool. So I'm excited about this, dude. Like, you want to talk a little bit about how this came to be?
Yeah, man, because you know, the people who brought this into fruition, man, don't watch our show because they work during the day, man. And you know, I say that because I met these folks also like trying to figure out LA and trying to like dig in. I moved to LA in September in the pandemic, and all I wanted to do was like wait till the world opened up so that I could attack LA and have a leg up, you know, have a leg up in the game. Oh, I've been here, you know, now this stuff is opening up. Let's go. And Randy Stress, who conceived the show, was the first person I met in LA. I got invited to a dinner by a friend who lived here, and she introduced me to Randy. And so Randy was a co-writer of a show that they wanted me to do on Netflix that we're still talking about to this day. But Randy had a day job, man, you know, has a day job. And so, you know, I just bring that up because it's like, man, I respect and know that life and like that grind of like working and then trying to do your art is what I'm all about. So we immediately like linked and started talking about, you know, that and sports. And he happened to work at ESPN, so we could talk football, which is, I played football for a little bit before I just dove into acting in community college. But it was just, he just had the right vibe, man. And so we were talking, and he seemed fascinated by me. I was fascinated by him because I was like, oh, you're a black man, you're single out here in LA, you're working and you're doing your craft, and like you making it happen. You know, you already living here, and I just got here, and I'm meeting you, getting introduced to you by another writer, like, you know, fill me in. And he was so fascinated by me, like Broadway and like, oh man, music and da. So he just hit me one day and was like, man, I be thinking about your career and I'm watching your Instagram. I think we should make a reality show about your life. What do you think? I was like, what? I don't watch none of that stuff. I don't watch any of that stuff, man. So it took some convincing. It took like 2 conversations, because the first conversation was via text and I wasn't excited at all. I don't know if he could tell. And then the second conversation, he called me and he said, I got a pen and a pad, and I'm just sitting here waiting on you to tell me this show. And I'm like, this is your job, bro. Like, don't try to have an idea and then make me do the thing. And he was like, you're the show. Your life is interesting. Go. And as we started to talk, man, it really did start to sound like something. And so I've always thought my life was kind of interesting, bro. But like, as I told that story to him, and then he brought in a producer, Sheila. And so Sheila is the person who's going to like make it all happen as far as selling it to the companies. And once Sheila agreed that the story was interesting, and I started feeling too, like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, this thing did happen and this thing. And I mean, you know some of my story, man, but like, if it feels more and more like not only is it worth talking about, but that it might be necessary, and like it will be helpful to not just me, but people who see it and my family and everything. And then once we started to talk, Sheila started doing her job just with words. We were just talking, and she was pitching the show with just conversation to companies, and they were interested. And so that's when I brought it to you and was like, you know, so this thing has all just been bubbling, but it started with Randy, man. I will say that it started with two black dudes, same way this started, you know what I'm saying? Just being like, hey, man, you know, I want to do something interesting. I want to do something to help people. And I'm really grateful that he sees and that my life can be told in that way to be helpful to someone else. I'm really grateful for my life. So in a sense, it's like to be able to tell my story, to be helpful to other people was always the goal. I never imagined doing it in this way, but I'm excited about it, man, because Vanessa's on board. And once Vanessa came on, she was the last piece, right? Vanessa is the story producer. So for her to find it interesting and to dig out this story the way you said and be like, okay, this is what the sizzle reel is. And I thought it was... For many weeks while we were talking about and possibly about to do this, I thought she's about to make us fight. She's about to make us lie. She's about to make us curse. You know what I'm saying? Curse each other out. Like, we got to do all this. And she was like, nah, y'all story is interesting enough. Everything that's going on with you and what you got going on, and now your friends coming back into you and the pandemic, I was avoiding all of that. So in a way, it has opened me up to, and I'm having to like face a me now and a me a year ago. You know what I mean? I'm having to face that dude and not just be like, well, that's done. Got to move on, because that's what I'm used to. And that's what I think that's what I was sort of mourning. I was mourning like, oh man, you know, all them projects is dead, you know. That whole career, that whole part of my career is now dead, and now I gotta da. And this has been really rejuvenating and being like, yeah, but even if you switched 1,000 careers, you still have earned a great place in this one, and you should be proud of what you've done. And as I'm taking pride, man, I'm also getting the opportunity to share it and be like, hey, man, this is what happened to me, you know. This hopefully will help you in your journey, and if nothing else, like, support a black man in his art. All right. You know,
word, man.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, this has been it's been cool to watch it all come together, because I've always thought that if I was a part of a reality show, that it would actually be good, because I don't watch reality shows either, and I hate them. I feel like anytime a reality show is playing, I feel like I'm wasting my life. Like I get this feeling like just I'm not doing anything. I'm a couch potato. That's immediately what I feel. And then especially some of the reality shows, like, you know, 1 ton, you know, person, or, you know, 1,000 pound, just that type of shit, or like destructive people. And then you just see like terrible families and a lot of lies and cheating and stealing and arguing. And it's just like, why am I even bothering watching this stuff? But when you had mentioned this reality show about your life, I was like, that sounds cool. That sounds like something that could be really dope. I don't remember thinking one time that it would be like, that would be whack. It would just have to be done properly. And then when you asked me to be involved in it, then I was like, I got super excited because I'm like, yeah, now I can actually fix all the things that I hate about reality TV. You know. So I'm really hype about this project, just in general. And just because I see the story and I've lived this part of the story with you, and seeing it all come together into one is really nice. Because as a filmmaker, I feel very much like I feel overwhelmed by all the footage that I capture and all of the content that I have. And I'm like, now there's a reason to use all of this stuff, you know, like I could at least pour it into that. Like I'm seeing the story script that Nessa created, and I'm like, oh, I have something that I could use for that, or I have something I could use for that. And it's not like this footage is just going to waste. You know, I have every day I feel like my iPhone is telling me that I need to delete stuff. You know, I'm like, geez, more footage, and like, so I'm capturing all of this stuff that I'm not even able to really use, but now this is giving us a reason to use it all. But I feel like that's a lot because we are manifesting what we want this year. You know, we've made a commitment this year to do a lot of these projects that we were kind of on the back burner, things we had been thinking about for a long time. And it's like, nah, here it is. Let's use it. You have all the material. You've been gathering all of this stuff for this year specifically.
Yeah, man, it's self-produced work, man, that we've been like not producing because we do other people's work. You know, it's no shade, I don't think, in that. But I think having the opportunity to do it was always there, but there's I think, you know, you just want to work. You want to work, and you don't look at it like, well, this because it's about money. It's that immediate thing. It's that like, oh man, I gotta get the money right now, you know. Versus like, if I put my time and effort and money into this, like this will set me up for the rest of my life, and bring so many other things that I have been thinking about into fruition. You know, we were talking about like Spike Lee and like filmmaking, and you putting filmmaker behind your name, and like that could have been a thought forever and ever. You know? But then finally to be like, I'm not just gonna have a conversation with Spike. I'm gonna get Spike's attention, you know, with the film, you know, and not with audition, not just with an audition, you know, with the film. And I think, man, yeah, it's time. It's about time, and it's been time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's our time, and yeah, man, it's time.
Word.
But man, what else?
So today is the 17th, and you said that this was gonna be the day that you would begin releasing a song every day. Is that still the plan?
I can, man. I could, you know, yeah. Dang. So many goals for today. So many goals for today.
Hey man,
I didn't even know I was gonna be in Palm Springs when I said that.
So. Hey man, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, this monologue madness thing that I've been doing, a monologue every day for the last 15 days or 16 days, has been kicking my butt, to say the least. It's been really challenging just because I wanna be comfortable with the material. My favorite part about acting is that I get to rehearse, or at least with theater, you you get to have a long rehearsal process, and it's like a 4-week rehearsal process, even a 2-week rehearsal process with 8-hour rehearsals or however long. Just that amount of time, at least I can get the words in my body enough. Then I don't even have to think about the words. I get to just do the fun part and live in this character. But doing self-tapes, doing monologues every day, you don't have that time to really learn it all, and you got to be on the spot. And I hate cold reads, especially being dyslexic and fighting that, trying to like really dive into the words. But what I have found is that doing this monologue challenge has helped me beat the perfectionism out of my bones. I feel like I can, like, all right, you know what? This is good enough. Put it out. Put it up. I said I was going to get this done every day. So like, whatever. It is what it is, you know? And I'm really actually most excited about when this month is done, because then I'll have 30 monologues that I could pull out of my ass to do at any given moment. All different types, classic monologues, contemporary monologues, comedy, tragedy, drama. And so I'm excited about that. And then next month, I said it will be June Tune Jamboree, where I'm going to release a song every day for the month of June. And I hope that has a similar effect.
Yeah, I think it's funny because with me it's like, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, and so it's like, how can we sell these monologues? I'm immediately like, well, maybe you could like sell it as a video book of do the NFT thing, and sell a video book of like you performing monologues to help people. Like here's you could put a brief video in front of each one, and talk about your process or how you got in. I'm really curious about your process, like how you're getting into each one. Are you getting into each one each way? Are you getting into each one the same way?
Well, you know what I'm learning from watching Gabrielle and her use of social media, where we have no life, but watching Gabrielle and her use of social media has been really, it's been actually great, because she is using social media as like a history book, or like, I don't even know how to say it. Like you're cataloging,
like a photo album. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And once it's on the internet, it's like there forever,
Yeah.
And so now that I'm seeing it like that, like, oh, if I put it out, then I can always go back to it. I can always use it again. So all of these monologues, this 30-day period will exist for as long as the internet exists.
Facts.
And people will be able to go back and tell, oh yeah, remember when Ace was doing this? I was following Ace way back then. And that's kind of where I'm thinking, like, the real fans will be able to go back and look at all the things that I've been doing this year, or last year rather. And that's the same way I feel about the people that are really fans of mine, like my friends, like close friends and family. How they talk about it is like, wow, watching you grind is really it's really inspiring. And I know that they haven't liked the video. They probably haven't watched every monologue. They probably didn't even notice that I posted a new one. Like, whatever. They're not following like that, but they see that I'm doing the work and I'm creating super fans. I'm creating a team of people that are like, oh, Ace gets it done. Ace is going to do that. Or, they vouch for me, and wherever they go in their life, they're gonna vouch for me. They're gonna
Yeah.
promote me, you know. So that's why I'm doing it now. Not so much to make money or anything. Like, it's really just, can I say I'm gonna do something and then do it.
Yeah. That makes so much sense, man. And like I've been learning that too. It's like having the courage to stick to your word, and like it has been really easy for me to achieve big things and lose track of the small things. And sometimes it seems small to just like say you're gonna do something and then do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
cause it's like yeah, but like I booked a bunch of stuff and like I made a bunch of money and like blah, 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 blah. But it's like, yeah, but did you call that guy back when you said that? Did you call Ace back when you said you were gonna call him? You know, and like that's important. And and having the courage to just, because it might mean that you double booked yourself, and then what are you going to do now? Are you going to do the thing that you think is most important, or are you going to do the very first thing you said you were going to do? You know. Yeah, man, I'm grown but learning, man. Grown but learning. And I mean, we talk all the time about, you know, why I feel like I teeter in that sort of like selfish, self-centered sort of way, but you know, I also have to cherish my moments when I get it right and like you know, get the thing done and like actually do what the hell I said I'm gonna do. So yeah, and then sometimes I shut the fuck up now too, so that I don't say too much. You know, I don't. People ask me, you know, I didn't even want to agree to that. I'll just be honest. Make a song every house. Nah, nigga, I don't want to agree to that. But I will say that I ambitiously did a lot of things last week to get ready for that. So I didn't get them all done, unfortunately. But by tomorrow, I will have done some things that I've been dreaming of doing. One is like getting out of the apartment. 2, I'm getting a tooth pulled. 3, I pay all my insurances. Like they're all paid. I paid off all my credit cards. I literally have no debt at this very second. After tomorrow, I will have 0 debt.
Bro, that. Congratulations, man. To hear a black man say that. To hear a black man say that when 300 years ago we were slaves, bro. We were slaves, my G. We had nothing.
That's true. True.
And here you are, debt free. You don't have nobody coming after you for money, like for nothing.
For nothing.
And I got a lot of lights going out for me. Oh yeah. Okay, these don't last very long. I'm learning. But yeah, man. I don't want to keep you too long because you know you should be celebrating your birthday and whatnot.
Yeah, we actually got reservations in 15 minutes, and she was like, he'll understand. I was like, but if he get to going, he won't. if I was like, here are the things I can't say tonight, you know, because if I miss anything about like God, spirituality, veganism, any of these topics are going to take him in a place, and we're gonna miss our dinner.
Word, man. But next week you said you wanted to talk about homelessness.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about homelessness. I've lived in San Francisco, Chicago, LA, and New York in the past 4 years. I've managed to live in all those places for at least 2 months. I lived in San Francisco the shortest amount for 2 months. But I was a year, and homelessness is a problem. It is a problem across the board, and I don't have answers, but I just want to talk about some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I feel and some of the things that I'm doing. and then I just want to, you know, like ask you some questions. I just want to talk about it, and it's always on my mind because I've been living downtown for the last 4 years. I've been living downtown in major cities for the last 4 years, so it's literally on my mind every day. But it's always been on my mind because even as a kid, I never really understood it. So, yeah, I'd love to talk about it and just see what's up.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. I'm totally down to talk about that as well. For a while I was afraid of like being homeless, but then I realized that like that wasn't really the issue. Being like not having a home wasn't really my issue, because I would always have a home. I have a lot of people that love me, and I don't have any vices, and so I kind of went forward into being okay with like if I ended up with, you know, not paying my rent or not doing like, just I was able to like get out of making comfortable money when I stopped fearing homelessness. But yeah, so I'd be really interested to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think
next week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and especially as artists too. I think we have an interesting perspective on it because we get to do what we love for money, and I think that a lot of people out there have done what they felt like they had to do, and it didn't work. You know, and so who knows what they even would want to do? I think back to our friend. What's the guy that wrote the Thanksgiving song?
Fred,
and I think back to like what he wanted versus what he was doing. And that was my conversation initially, was like, what do you want to do versus like what you have to do. So yeah, man. Yeah. But I'm about to turn up tonight. Still.
All right.
Still turn up. And
I can't wait. After we get off this call, I'm gonna send you I'm gonna upload this draft to Vimeo of the sizzle reel, let you see what I got so far and send it to the team. But I'm really excited about it, man. I'm excited to see what the edits are, and like, or not even so much edits, it's just a lot of fillers, a lot of placeholders for content that we still have to film in order to get it all looking right and sounding right. But I have complete faith in us being able to do that. And I also realized that like there's a lot of stuff from our show that we can use, things that we've talked about that Nessa needs in order to tell the story in a certain way. So so there is already a lot of material, and that's another benefit from doing this show every week, that we always have content. We're always and we have a track record of everything we've talked about, everything we said we're gonna do, everything we're gonna accomplish, and then you see us accomplish those things. Like, it's gonna be really fascinating to look back at all of this stuff.
I'm so excited, man. I finished my first my first collage on Photoshop today.
Hey, yes. Y'all who are interested, the super fans, Akron made the graphic for this.
I made the graphic this week. So
like,
shout out to me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you wanted to call us out?
Nah. I was just saying that Shakendra is telling me that it's time.
Word. Ladies and gentlemen, give Akron another happy birthday. 38?
38.
38, baby. Let's make it great. Peace out, y'all.
talking like a 70-year-old smoker.
So cute.